Jason stepped out of the small dropship, his boots sinking slightly into the soft alien soil. The air smelled different here, sweet but with a faint metallic tang. Towering trees with pale green leaves stretched high into the sky, and strange glowing fungi dotted the ground, pulsing gently with light. He had landed far from the rest of his human team. The storm that had separated him was violent, tearing through the forest with winds stronger than anything he had experienced on Earth. Now, with the calm that followed, he was alone, uncertain, and wary. He moved cautiously, scanning the area. Every sound seemed amplified. The rustle of leaves, the distant cries of unknown creatures, the hum of strange energy that ran through the ground beneath his feet. As he walked, he saw tiny flickers of light ahead, like fireflies, but brighter and more rhythmic. Curious, he followed them, hoping they might lead to some sign of life or at least shelter. The lights guided him to a clearing where he saw a small village nestled among the giant trees. The structures were unlike anything he had ever seen, built from a combination of living wood and crystal. The homes glowed faintly from within, as if the buildings themselves were breathing. Figures moved silently between the homes. Humanoid in shape but different, pale violet skin, thin translucent hair that shimmered in the light, and large eyes that seemed almost too expressive. Jason froze as one figure stepped forward. It was a small girl, perhaps 12 or 13, her eyes cloudy and white. She moved confidently toward him, her steps unsteady but sure. "Hello?" she said softly, in a voice that was musical yet gentle. Jason's translator device blinked to life, and he repeated, "Hello, I am Jason." The girl tilted her head, sensing his hesitation. "You are far from your home. You are human," she said, the words slow but clear. She seemed to understand him despite the alien tones. "I am Lyra." Jason nodded slowly, amazed that she could understand him. I am lost," he admitted. "My team, we were caught in the storm." Lyra reached out a small hand. "Do not be afraid. Come with me. You will be safe here." Jason followed her through the village. The other villagers stared at him, some curious, others wary. He noticed that all eyes fell on Lyra as she guided him. There was something about her, a presence that seemed to command quiet attention despite her small stature. An elder appeared, tall and broad with markings etched into his skin that shimmered faintly in the alien light. He examined Jason carefully, his eyes piercing. "You are human," he said finally. "You are far from your world. Why are you here?" Jason explained as best he could, gesturing and using his broken alien phrases. The elder listened, nodding slowly. Then he said something that stunned Jason. "Marry my blind sister," he said, pointing toward Lyra, who had stopped beside him. "She cannot see your face. You may protect her, and she will bring joy to your life, but she must never know if you are unworthy." Jason's mouth went dry. I cannot just..." Lyra tilted her head at him, curious. "Do you wish to stay with me?" she asked simply. There was no malice in her voice, no expectation, only innocence and trust. The elder placed a hand on her shoulder. "This is our custom. You are strong and brave. You may choose to protect her, to stand by her. She cannot see appearances. That is why we ask. You may prove yourself worthy through deeds, not looks." Jason looked at Lyra. She smiled, a small, bright smile that felt like sunlight breaking through clouds. Her trust in him was immediate, pure, and terrifying. He knew that accepting this offer would bind him to this world in ways he did not yet understand. But refusing could insult the village and put them in danger. He nodded slowly. I will stay. I will protect her." Lyra's smile widened. She took his hand, feeling his warmth. "Thank you," she said simply. Jason felt a strange, deep warmth in his chest at her words. Over the next few days, Jason learned about the village and its people. They were peaceful, living in harmony with the forest and the glowing creatures that inhabited it. They sang songs to the trees, telling stories of ancient heroes and battles long past. Lyra loved these stories and listened with rapt attention. Jason often found himself telling her new ones. Stories of Earth, of human courage and resilience. She would laugh at the funny parts and listen silently to the serious parts, absorbing everything as if each word were precious. He also noticed how she moved with confidence despite her blindness. She could sense the world in ways he could not, feeling the energy of the forest, hearing the smallest rustle of leaves, smelling the faintest scent of water. Her other senses were heightened, and Jason found himself relying on her guidance when navigating the woods. But not everything was peaceful. Jason discovered that a rival tribe, a warlike species from the northern mountains, had been raiding villages for years. They sought to take control of resources and enslave the weaker species. The village elders had been preparing quietly, knowing they could not withstand a full attack without help. Jason realized that his presence could tip the balance. He had combat experience, knowledge of tactics, and human ingenuity that the villagers lacked. He began training them, using sticks and sharpened stones as weapons, teaching them to set traps, and showing them ways to use the forest to their advantage. At first, the villagers were hesitant, but Jason's courage inspired them. Lyra watched him closely, her fingers tracing his movements as she learned silently, sensing the rhythm and pattern of his actions. During this time, Jason also learned more about Lyra. She loved simple things, a flower's scent, the soft hum of the forest, the stories of heroes who acted with kindness and courage. She asked questions about Earth and humans, her curiosity endless. Jason found himself opening up to her in ways he had not with anyone else. Her innocence allowed him to speak freely, without fear of judgment or mockery. One evening, as the sun set and the forest glowed with the light of bioluminescent plants, Jason and Lyra walked together. He held her hand gently, guiding her along a path that led to a small waterfall. The sound of rushing water was soothing. "You are brave," he said quietly. "Stronger than I ever imagined." Lyra smiled, tilting her head. "You are brave too," she replied. "You protect us and me." "I can feel it." Jason felt a lump in his throat. Her words were simple, but they carried a weight he could not ignore. He realized that he cared for her, not for her appearance, which she could not see, but for her heart, her spirit, and her unwavering trust in him. That night, a warning came. Scouts reported signs of the rival tribe approaching. Jason knew that the village's safety depended on preparation and strategy. He worked through the night with the elders, setting up defenses and planning escape routes. He trained the villagers tirelessly, emphasizing teamwork, vigilance, and courage. Lyra stayed close, following his voice and instructions. She was not afraid despite her blindness. Jason marveled at her bravery. She moved as if she could see the dangers before they arrived, trusting him to guide her through. By dawn, the village was ready. Traps were set, positions were assigned, and the villagers were calm yet alert. Jason looked at Lyra, who stood beside him, small but unyielding. He placed a hand on her shoulder. "Whatever happens," he said, "we face it together." She nodded, her face serene. "Together," she echoed. Jason knew that the days ahead would test him in ways he had never imagined. Protecting the village and Lyra was no longer just a duty. It was personal. Her trust had become a responsibility, and her innocence a beacon he could not ignore. As the first light of the rival tribe appeared on the horizon, Jason felt a surge of determination. He was a human, far from home in a world of strange beauty and danger, but he was ready. Ready to fight, ready to protect, and ready to prove that true courage and heart were stronger than appearances, stronger than fear, and stronger than any enemy. And in the quiet moments before the battle, as he glanced at Lyra's trusting face, Jason understood something profound. Beauty was not in the eyes, but in the heart, and he would give everything to protect hers. The first light of dawn barely touched the forest when the enemy appeared. From the northern ridge, hulking alien warriors advanced, their jagged armor reflecting the dim sunlight. Their weapons glowed with a strange blue energy, pulsing with menace. The villagers trembled, fear etched into every face. Jason stood in the center of the village, surveying the approaching threat. Every instinct screamed at him to fight, but he knew this was no ordinary battle. He turned to Lyra, who stood beside him, calm and resolute. Her blind eyes were clouded white, yet Jason felt her confidence radiate. "Stay close to me," he whispered. "Do not wander. Trust my voice." She nodded, her fingers brushing his arm. Jason felt a surge of responsibility unlike anything he had known. Protecting a village was one thing. Protecting her, the innocent girl who trusted him completely, was a weight on his soul that he would carry with every breath. Jason moved quickly, directing the villagers to their positions. The traps they had set the night before were ready. Pitfalls covered with branches, nets hidden in tall grass, and strategically placed barricades. He gave clear instructions, teaching the villagers to work together to use the forest itself as a weapon. Use your surroundings, he told them. Do not let them surround you. Stay close to each other. Strike only when they are vulnerable. The enemy advanced faster than Jason expected. The first of the alien warriors stumbled into a pitfall, the loud thud echoing through the forest. Others fell into nets or were forced into narrow paths where villagers could strike from above. The villagers, under Jason's guidance, fought with courage and coordination. He watched as even the oldest and smallest among them wielded sticks, stones, and sharpened branches with precision. Lyra stayed near him, feeling every movement through the vibrations in the ground. She reached for the hand of a young villager, guiding him to safety while Jason directed the others. Her bravery astonished him. Blind yet fearless, she was proving that courage was not a matter of sight. Jason's focus shifted to the enemy leader, a hulking alien with spiked armor, moving with terrifying strength. Jason knew he had to confront him directly. If the leader fell, the others would retreat. The fight was brutal. The alien swung a heavy energy-charged blade, forcing Jason to dodge and parry with a smaller, improvised weapon. Every strike he made was calculated, relying not on strength but on speed and strategy. The alien leader was powerful, each swing capable of killing, but Jason had learned quickly. He noticed patterns in the enemy's attacks, predicting movements before they happened. Using his agility, he lured the leader toward one of the hidden traps, a pit concealed with thin branches and leaves. With a final feint, Jason dodged the leader's strike and pushed him into the pit. The alien roared, thrashing violently before eventually falling silent. The remaining warriors paused, shocked at the defeat of their leader. Jason seized the moment, rallying the villagers. "Now push them back!" he shouted. Together the villagers advanced, their unity overwhelming the attackers. The forest itself seemed to aid them, branches knocking enemies off balance, loose rocks sending them stumbling. The sounds of animals startled into action, creating chaos among the invaders. In the midst of the battle, Jason spotted Lyra in danger. A smaller warrior had slipped past the defenses and was advancing toward her. He sprinted, shouting a warning. Lyra heard his voice and moved instinctively, guided by the sound and by her instincts. Jason tackled the alien, knocking him unconscious. Lyra ran to his side, her hand brushing his cheek in relief. "I knew you would protect me," she said softly. Jason nodded, feeling a deep sense of pride and connection. As the last of the enemy fled into the forest, the villagers erupted in celebration. Their homes were safe, their people unharmed, and their faith in Jason had grown beyond respect. They trusted him with their lives, and he had not failed them. Mira, the elder sister, approached, her eyes scanning him with a mix of admiration and caution. She placed a hand on Lyra's shoulder. "He has proven himself," she said. "Not through appearance, but through courage and heart. You are safe." Lyra turned to Jason, her face bright with an innocent joy that melted away every ounce of tension from the battle. "I knew you could do it," she said simply. "I am glad you stayed with us." Jason felt a lump in his throat. Her words were small, yet their weight was enormous. In that moment, he realized that the bond they shared was more than protection. It was trust, friendship, and the beginnings of something deeper. The village gathered around them that evening, lighting small fires and celebrating their victory. The forest glowed softly in response, as if acknowledging the bravery of the humans and aliens united. Jason stood beside Lyra, watching her dance with other children, her laughter filling the night. He had never felt such peace, such fulfillment. She was blind, yet she saw more than many others ever could. The courage in hearts, the strength in unity, the beauty in trust. As the night deepened, Jason and Lyra walked together to the edge of the village, where the glowing waterfall sang its eternal song. He gently held her hand, feeling the warmth and life in it. "You were amazing today," he said quietly. I've never seen bravery like yours." Lyra tilted her head, sensing his sincerity. "I could feel yours too," she said. "You saved everyone. You saved me." Jason felt emotions he could not fully name. He had come to this planet as a stranger, lost and alone. Now he was not just a protector, but a part of something greater. The villagers trusted him. Lyra relied on him, and he had earned a place in their hearts not through looks or status, but through action and courage. In the following days, life returned to a gentle rhythm. The village began repairing minor damage from the attack, and Jason trained the villagers further, ensuring they would be ready if danger ever returned. Lyra followed him everywhere, learning from his methods, her blind hands tracing his movements, her mind absorbing every lesson. Mira approached Jason one afternoon. "You have changed our village," she said, her voice quiet but firm. "Through courage, wisdom, and heart. Lyra's trust was not given lightly, yet you have earned it. You are welcome here as one of us, as her protector, and perhaps more." Jason looked at Lyra, who smiled at him, innocent and trusting. He realized that the bond they shared could not be measured by appearances or customs. True connection came from mutual trust, courage, and care. He nodded. I want to stay, with her. With all of you. I will not leave." Lyra reached up, feeling his face gently. "I am glad," she said softly. "I knew you were kind." Jason smiled, feeling a deep sense of peace he had never known. It was not about love at first sight or attraction. It was about respect, trust, and the willingness to face danger for someone else's sake. The forest seemed to celebrate with them. Birds sang in strange melodies. The glowing fungi pulsed brighter, and the trees swayed gently as if acknowledging the courage and unity of the humans and aliens together. Jason had come from Earth to survive, but he had found a purpose far greater, protecting a world, its people, and an innocent girl who had taught him that true beauty lies within. Months passed, and Jason became an integral part of the village. He and Lyra spent their days together, exploring the forest, sharing stories, and learning from one another. He taught her about Earth, humans, and courage, while she taught him patience, trust, and seeing beyond appearances. Their bond grew deeper with each passing day, rooted in respect and mutual care. One evening, as the twin moons rose over the horizon, Lyra spoke softly. "I cannot see your face, but I can feel who you are. You are brave, kind, and strong. That is enough for me." Jason felt a warmth spread through his chest. He knelt beside her, gently holding her hands. "And you are wise, brave, and pure. I am proud to be here with you. Not because of appearances, but because of who we are together, in that moment." Jason realized that humanity's greatest strength was not technology or weapons. It was courage, heart, and the ability to protect and trust one another across worlds and species. Lyra had shown him that innocence and trust could forge bonds stronger than fear, stronger than war, stronger than any obstacle. The night deepened, and the forest pulsed with life around them. Jason held Lyra close, feeling the rhythm of her breath, the warmth of her presence. He knew the future would bring challenges, but he also knew they could face them together. Humanity had reached this alien world, not just to explore, but to connect, to protect, and to teach that courage and heart could transcend even the most impossible differences. And as the stars shone above, reflecting in the glowing leaves, Jason smiled, knowing he had found something far greater than survival. He had found trust, courage, and a bond that no force in the galaxy could break. Lyra, blind to appearances but wise beyond years, had chosen him not for how he looked but for who he was. And that was the most powerful victory of all.